Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some more Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies playing some Numa, which is my personal favorite Zombies map. I did pretty well in this gameplay, minus the fact that I'm an idiot and kept putting myself down as compared to letting the zombies take me down. So hopefully you guys will all sit back, relax, and enjoy the gameplay while we step into a time machine here for a moment and do another episode of Dear Nero, which was the weekly series here on my YouTube channel where subscribers would send me in fan mail and or fan questions. So if you're newer to the channel, say if you joined maybe after Modern Warfare Remastered came out, maybe you don't know what Dear Nero is. Well, Dear Nero was this Q&A I did every single Wednesday. In fact, the first episode just turned 5 years old yesterday. The first episode was posted on July 4th of 2012, and in total, this series had 214 episodes. Initially, it started off as like this Q&A where I would spend, I don't know, 6 to 10 minutes answering questions, and that was it. And over time, people kept asking for the series to be longer and longer and longer till eventually every episode of Dear Nero was like 30 minutes to an hour long. It was almost like a solo podcast where all the topics were questions that subscribers would send in. I decided to cancel the series in October. I put it on a pretty much permanent hiatus on October 5th, which was exactly 9 months ago, and I figured we would do another episode today because it's been 9 months since the last episode, and yesterday was the 5-year anniversary of the series actually beginning, so I figured we would do episode 215 today. So hopefully you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy, because I have a lot of great questions that my subscribers sent in to me via Twitter this afternoon. The first question is going to be coming in from Graham Rice, who is going to write, Dear Nero, why did you stop doing Dear Nero, and what are you most excited for in World War II? Personally, I can't wait for zombies. Well, Graham, a new Zombies teaser came out today. This is actually going to be the image. It's not a lot to go off of, but we do know that on the 20th, we are going to be seeing a lot in regards to COD World War II Zombies, so hopefully that's going to be incredible. What am I most excited for? Multiplayer, obviously. I mean, I'm a big multiplayer guy. I'm not much of a campaign guy anymore. The past couple of years, I haven't even played the campaign. I didn't play it in Black Ops 3. I didn't play it in Infinite Warfare. I'm just not much of a campaign guy, but with it being World War II, chances are I will be playing through the campaign, and I'm very excited about that. The big part of the question, however, why did you stop doing Dear Nero? Honestly, I feel as though the show itself just kind of ran its course. It's hard to admit when a show is pretty much done, but I feel as though Dear Nero had basically, it had peaked, it had plateaued, and it basically just declined ever since. It wasn't as if Dear Nero was like, you know, this overnight decision, like a snap reaction of, I'm tired of this show, I'm not doing it anymore. I love Dear Nero. I freaking love the interaction and the community aspect of it, but people just simply weren't watching the show. So eventually you kind of just have to, you know, cut the finger off to save the hand, I guess. You know, just every single week I was posting this video, which took a very long time to make, that a very small percentage of my viewer base actually cared to watch. I was much better off actually posting something different that day as compared to posting Dear Nero. And like I said, it was on the decline for a very long time, and it just kind of made the decision one day of like, you know, we're just going to put this show on hiatus, and it kind of just stayed on hiatus for a pretty long time. Again, it's been 9 months, so that's why I decided to stop Dear Nero. It just was, if you're a viewer, you have a lot of say, I suppose, in what a channel posts. Like, you guys actually directly affect what content is posted on YouTube, because if you just don't watch something, people are going to keep trying stuff until they find something that people are willing to watch. That's what we do as entertainers. So if people weren't watching Dear Nero, I was much better off to post something different. So I feel as though the show ran its course. I mean, 214 episodes. We posted it, you know, over the course of 4 years. It was a long-running thing, but I felt as though it was time, and that's why I haven't made a Dear Nero in about 9 months. The next question is going to be coming in from Bravo, who's going to write, Dear Nero, my clan's average age is 48. We hold areas in Call of Duty. What do you feel about older players and this type of COD gameplay? So Bravo, I think that your style of gameplay is perfectly fine, honestly. Like, if you're playing Modern Warfare Remastered, holding down particular areas is how you play the game. Like, Call of Duty back in the day used to be about map control and gun skill. Over the past couple of years, especially with advanced movement and stuff like that, map control isn't as big of a thing, especially in public matches. And as a result, you see people running around wildly and wall running and double jumping and specialist abilities. It's chaos, right? When you play a game like Modern Warfare Remastered, doing what you're doing, holding down the 3-story on Crash, that is crucial. If you want to win a game of domination on Crash, hold the 3-story. It's so freaking easy to win if you can hold that 3-story. If you're playing on Strike, hold the middle of the map, or the that window overlooking B on strike, like you hold that area, you're golden. On ambush, you have those 2 buildings that overlook where the B flag is, you're golden. I'm not even talking just for domination, but like search and destroy, team deathmatch, kill confirmed, hard point. Like if you control the power positions of the map, that's how you're successful, right? And I see people complaining that Modern Warfare Remastered is too campy. I can see where they're coming from, honestly, if they'd like a more run and gun style game. But Modern Warfare Remastered, in a lot of ways, is about that old style of Call of Duty play, of actually controlling areas of the map and not necessarily just constantly running to your opponent's spawn, hip firing with submachine guns and stuff like that. So I think your style of play is perfectly acceptable, and I have a feeling it's going to be a popular play style in Call of Duty World War II, assuming, of course, the maps aren't too small, which from what we've seen so far, they kind of look to be on the smaller side. As for your clan's age being an average of 48, that's awesome to me, man. I love it when older people get into gaming because it sounds weird, but my parents are about your age and neither of them are into gaming. Neither of them really even understand what I do for a living. So to have people of your age actually playing video games, that's cool. And I've played with a lot of older people in video games, and they're some of my favorite people to play with because no offense to some of you out there, but sometimes you play with like a 12-year-old and they're super squeaky. They're constantly asking you questions, or just, you know, it's a weird experience at times where if you're playing with older people, they're more laid back, they have more life experience, they have some interesting stories and stuff like that. It's just, I like playing with older people, and I love the fact that older people play video games. The next question is going to be coming in from Tater Cod, who's going to write, Dear Nero, how do you think World War II should tackle campers? Camping is so common in Modern Warfare Remastered, it's infuriating. So I put these questions one after another here because I think they tie together pretty well. I don't think camping as a whole is a giant problem in the Call of Duty series. I really don't, because a lot of people think camping is when you're not constantly rushing with a submachine gun. If you're doing what Bravo and his group does, and you're holding down the 3-story while playing Dom on Crash, that's playing smart. That's not necessarily camping. Camping to me is, again, using Crash as an example, if the opposing team is stuck at the A flag, and instead of like trying to push out or get map control or do anything like that, they've decided to subject themselves to sitting in the back building with a sniper rifle, just like peeking over, you know, a wall, hoping to get a couple of kills and stuff like that. That's camping to me. I hate when people do that. When people intentionally give up 70% of the map so they can camp in one portion of it and they don't care about playing the objective or trying to win, that's what infuriates me. So how should World War II tackle campers? Try to incentivize them to move more. No matter what, people are going to camp, and people are going to sit in corners, they're going to sit in the back building, they're going to do that inevitably. But you can encourage them to not do that by, one, having score streaks, which COD World War II does have score streaks, that's a step in the right direction. But two, maybe reward them with more experience or more unlocks or something like that. An idea that I've always had is, how cool would it be if you got like double XP for winning a match? I think that would be a great incentive for people to try to actually win games. Like for me in Modern Warfare Remastered, I have an 82% win percentage. If this were a feature, that would mean I get double XP 82% of the time. That would be incredible. But maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe instead they should punish the campers by giving you less XP for losing. But I don't think that's a very good system because, you know, like I said, I win 82% of my matches. It sounds like a humble brag almost, but those 18% where I lost weren't my fault. And they just really weren't. Like, I'm always like number 1 or number 2 on my team. I'm always playing the objective really hard. I cannot honestly, in good conscience, think of any time in Modern Warfare Remastered where I lost a game where I was bottom of my team and negative. It's just never happened. I've played the series too long for that to be a thing. I've been playing the series for a decade, right? And so it would be bad to punish people for being put on a bad team. That's a bad thing. So I think you should just reward people for winning by giving them more experience. I think that, coupled in with score streaks, would be a very good way of tackling campers in Call of Duty World War II. The next question is going to be coming in from Bub Weirdo 909. Do you have any pets? I do, Mr. Bub Weirdo. Backstory, I've had many pets throughout my life, a Great Pyrenees, a Rottweiler, many different cats. I had a rat at one point, which are terrible pets, by the way. Currently, I have 2 pets. They are both cats. They are brothers. Their names are Barney and Clyde. And yes, I get that it was Bonnie and Clyde, but they're both boys, so I had to name them Barney and Clyde. And they are wonderful. The people I got them from were super, I guess they are, super into animals. Like, they had 7 cats. And when you picture somebody with 7 cats, you're like, oh no. That's a nightmare, right? No, their house was immaculate. It was clean. All the cats were so well groomed and vaccinated and everything. There was an interview process for me to be able to purchase these cats from these people. Like, I had to give them my opinion on declawing and talk about my home and do I have a stable income. Like, they wanted to really make sure these cats are going to a good place. And they're brothers. They were the best of friends, even as kittens. And so they wanted to separate them. And I wanted 2 cats anyway, because to me, like, having one cat is fine, but that one cat gets super attached to you because they have nothing else to do. And so keeping them together, having the brothers, they're always playing and wrestling, and they're great. I mean, they're litter trained right from the get. They don't throw up. They're wonderful. Barney and Clyde. They're great. I love having pets. I've always had pets in my life, and I would recommend it to anyone that can do so. If if you're allowed to, where you rent or where you live or stuff like that. Like, if you've never had a pet before, they're actually pretty great. The only downside is cleaning out the litter box. That part's not so fun. The next question is going to be coming in from Flames53, who's going to write, Dear Nero, what is your opinion on Hanzo players? Oh my goodness. So Hanzo is a character in Overwatch, for those who don't know. I love it when Hanzo is on the other team because he's so easily countered and terrible. And I hate when he's on my team, man. Like most people, like if you get into a match and then you have that insta-lock Hanzo, or you have that group of 2 or 3 people where it's like insta-lock Hanzo, insta-lock Widowmaker, insta-lock, I don't know, Genji or something like that. It's like, good God, the trifecta over here. I hate it. I hate Hanzo. Yeah, I hate when Hanzo's around my team. But admittedly, he's pretty fun to play, so there's that. The next question is going to be coming in from James McCaffrey, who's going to write, Dear Nero, what Borderlands weapon or weapons do you think would fit best into a Call of Duty game? So the obvious answer to me, James, is like a boring standard Dahl or Vladoff rifle. These are brands of weapons in Borderlands for people that don't know. I think the best one, though, would be Malawan submachine guns from Borderlands 2. Like, if you're into Infinite Warfare, tell me this gun right here wouldn't somehow just fit in Infinite Warfare in terms of theme and aesthetic. I'm personally using the Hellfire right here, which is like the best looking Malawan submachine gun to me. And it shoots fire, which maybe wouldn't work in Infinite Warfare, but still, man, a Malawan submachine gun in a game like Infinite Warfare where it would kind of fit aesthetically, that sounds actually pretty awesome if you ask me. I would probably play some more Infinite Warfare if they had Borderlands style weapons in there. The next question is going to be coming in from Pablo, who's going to write, Dear Nero, do you think the quote-unquote cosmetic-only supply drops in World War II will eventually contain game-changing weapons like Modern Warfare Remastered and Black Ops 3? Without a doubt, 100%, Mr. Pablo, sir, they are going to have weapons and supply drops. Here's how I know this. 1, they've said cosmetic only. They've said that every year so far, and they've broken that promise time and time again. Number 2, if they were really going to be cosmetic only and there are absolutely no plans from Activision or Sledgehammer to actually add weapons to supply drops, they would really, really be emphasizing this because they know how big of a hot button issue this is for the community. If they really did plan for these to stay cosmetic only, Michael Condrey would be on Twitter right now, or they'd be making Twitter videos, or they would be doing a live stream on Facebook. They'd be like, guys, 100% cosmetic only. We've heard that in the past, but truly 110% cosmetic only this year in Call of Duty World War II. We guarantee you not a single weapon will be exclusively unlocked through supply drops. If they were to come out and say that, I mean, there'd be rejoice throughout the world. Church bells would be ringing. It'd be fantastic. But they haven't said that. They just casually said in a Reddit AMA, cosmetic only. So they're definitely going to be adding weapons. Eventually, they just won't be there at launch. The next question is going to be coming in from I'm Not Creative, who writes, Dear Nero, if there's an atomic bomb / nuke kill streak in World War II, will you do a series every Saturday? Mr. I'm Not Creative, I would love to do an atomic bomb / nuke style kill streak series in Call of Duty World War II, assuming, of course, those are actually a feature within the game. For those that don't know, I used to do a lot of community-driven series here on my YouTube channel. Of course, Dear Nero was one. Every single Wednesday, I would do this big Q&A, almost a solo podcast based on its length. And typically on Saturdays, I would do another subscriber-driven series where I would feature their gameplay and break down their gameplay, give tips and tricks and insight, and then, of course, feature their channel and discuss it and promote other people's channels. This started back in Modern Warfare 3. We had a series called Moab Monday and Moab Friday where I would feature people's Moabs. We then, of course, had Call of Duty Ghosts, which brought along with it Chem Strikes, and so I had a series called Chem Strike Saturday, Saturday, where I would feature people's chem strikes. And then, of course, in Advanced Warfare, we had DNA bombs, so I had DNA Saturday as a series. I really do miss those community series. Add this whole sense of community to the channel. I was able to promote other people and help their channels grow. It was a really cool thing. Over the past couple of years, though, we haven't had like a big nuke style streak. Of course, Infinite Warfare does have one, but I don't like that game. Like, I'm not even first prestige in that game yet. Like, I don't play it. I wouldn't be able to offer people like insight to people's gameplay or anything like that. It just wouldn't really work. So I'm hoping COD World War II does have an atomic bomb or a nuke kill streak that you can get without having to have some special variant. Just have it as like a hidden streak within the game. And if there is, I would love to do a series, honestly, because it was a lot of fun doing that stuff back in the day. You guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The people that would send in gameplay enjoyed it. It was a fun series in general. And honestly, I really do miss doing stuff like that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we have an atomic bomb kill streak in Call of Duty World War II. The next question is going to be coming in from the Hentai Dealer, who writes, Dear Nero, would you ever consider doing more Overwatch content? A new hero is coming out rather soon, and I miss your Overwatch content. So, Mr. Hentai Dealer, I do still play Overwatch quite a bit. I'm like, it's not spectacular, but I'm like level 150 or something like that. I'm ranked gold. I'm not the best player in the world. I really like playing Junkrat. He's my favorite character in the entire game. I also play a lot of McCree, Reaper, Mercy. I guess that's basically it. Those are, I guess, like the mains, I suppose. I play a lot of Diva as well. I like Overwatch. I did used to post some Overwatch stuff here on the channel, but kind of like Dear Nero, viewers kind of dictate what goes on the channel, and people just didn't seem to be that interested in Overwatch here on my channel. So I decided to just start posting Overwatch stuff over on Nero's Let's Plays, my second channel, where I post a lot of different games. Hearthstone, Fallout, The Simpsons Hit and Run. We just finished a playthrough of that. It's a Let's Play channel, so if you're interested in Overwatch, be sure to subscribe to my second channel. I post Overwatch occasionally over there. And, yeah, I guess that answers your question. I post a lot of stuff on Nero's Let's Plays, and Overwatch is one of them. It's just like, I'm not like an Overwatch channel or anything like that. And just as a side tangent here, this is something that I get a lot as a content creator, and I would like to address it a little bit. A lot of people have this perception that if a game's popular, anyone can post it and instantly become popular because of that game. That's really not how it works. There's a reason why people that make that suggestion don't have channels themselves. Like, if you're someone like me who's been pretty much branded as a Call of Duty channel because I posted only Call of Duty for like the past 6 years, it's hard to make a transition from Call of Duty to posting other stuff with any consistency. There are some people out there that can do that, but most of us can't. That's why most Call of Duty channels have a dedicated second channel for other stuff, and that's why you don't see Overwatch here on my YouTube channel, even though I tested the waters. I posted some Overwatch guides and content when the game first came out, but it didn't stick, so I put it on Nero's Let's Plays, and I'm happy with it because I can just play the game whenever I want, and I post it over there, and people that like Overwatch can watch it over there. It's, you know, one extra click of a button to subscribe to a different channel. It's really no big deal. The next question is going to be coming in from Jacob from Poland, who is going to write, Dear Nero, would you give up your current house for a big flat in Los Angeles or another big city? Keep up the great work. So Jacob, backstory here for those who don't know. I live in a small town in Pennsylvania. Would I give up my house I live in now to go live in a flat in Los Angeles? Honestly, no. And that's saying something because I don't like my own house. Like, I don't own my house, keep in mind, I rent, and I don't like the house itself is fine, I suppose, but I'm not a big fan of my landlords. They're kind of invasive. I told a story before on my Let's Play channel. I think it was during my live stream. Where basically, it was a couple weeks ago, right? And if you guys remember, I had the flu like a couple weeks ago. Like, I was sick as a dog. And I was upstairs in the shower, just feeling terrible. When all of a sudden, I hear an elderly female voice coming from downstairs. I'm like, what in the heck? So I turn off the shower and I hear, Joe, can you come down here for a moment? I'm like, is my landlord really here? They unlocked the door without calling, texting, or anything. No prior notice. I'm in the shower. They unlocked the door and just walked in. And they're in my house now. Such a huge invasion of privacy. I'm pretty sure it's illegal. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they did that because they're an elderly couple. He wanted to complain that I hadn't mowed in a couple of days or something like that. Like, I typically mow once a week. And it had been like a week and 2 days or something like that. Like, I don't like my landlords very much for that reason. They're kind of invasive. They're older. They're an elderly couple, as I say. And so they just don't get texting or calling or anything like that. I'm like, why didn't you just call me if you said to say you're on your way? And you're like, we don't have your number in our phone. I'm like, you have my number though. Put it in your cell phone. Like I was so frustrated by that. So that's saying something. I don't want to move to Los Angeles. Even if I could pay the same amount that I pay for rent now, but live in Los Angeles, I still don't think I would want to. I don't like living in big cities, and moving to California sounds terrible. It's warm today. I couldn't imagine living out in California. The perfect place for me would be a house slightly out of town in Pennsylvania somewhere. That's where I would like to live, like close enough to town where like I can go get fast food and stuff like that and still have good internet, but also far enough out of town that like I could go shoot a gun in my backyard or drive a four-wheeler and stuff like that. That's the perfect place in my scenario, and I hope to be there one day. The next and final question for this video is going to be coming in from the legendary Riley from Canada. It wouldn't be an episode of Dear Nero without a question from Riley from Canada. What 3 countries would you like to visit the most 4 years later? And maybe your answers are different. So Riley, I apologize for disappointing you here, but my answers are pretty much the same. Keep in mind, this involves teleportation. I don't like flying. I've flown to Tampa, Florida before. Hated it. I hate flying. It's terrifying to me. People are afraid of flying. I think it's a common phobia. If I could just teleport somewhere to visit it, I would like to visit England, Ireland, and the third country is honestly a toss-up. It'd be like Russia, Germany, or like Poland or something like that, because I'm mostly English and Irish, like my heritage, like my ancestors are from England and Ireland, with a couple of other smaller ones thrown in there, like a dab of Native American here on my dad's side, or a dab of Swedish over there on my mom's side, or whatever, right? Like mostly English, mostly Irish. So I'd like to visit those countries because they're a lot like America anyway. But also for the third country, I would just like to go on a world tour of like World War II locations, right? I would love to see what was then Stalingrad. I'd love to go to Berlin. I would love to go to like the Auschwitz Museum. I would love to go to like the Ardennes Forest. Go to YouTube once you're already there. Duh. Oh my God. Go to YouTube, guys. But if you go on YouTube and you type in Ardennes Forest, like metal detectors, there are people like in current day going through the Ardennes Forest with a metal detector and finding stuff from the battle that happened there. Like it's so freaking interesting. Keep in mind, Ardennes Forest will be a featured map in Call of Duty World War II. It's so interesting. I find World War II fascinating, and I would love to go like on a world tour, you know, and just not explore, but like just check out all these different places, all these different battle sites that happened in World War II, visit museums, you know, see some guns, see some uniforms and stuff like that. Like, that'd be cool, right? So that'd be like my third answer, I suppose. That, ladies and gentlemen, is all I have for you guys here in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I can feel my voice going. I recorded some Hearthstone for my Let's Play channel earlier. Now I'm recording this, and my voice is just going. Is there a way to make your voice stronger? Because it seems like if I record, I don't know, more than like an hour or so, my voice sounds completely different than when I started. It's so freaking weird. I need to do some vocal training or something like that. But that's all I have for you guys here in this video. As I say, Dear Nero is typically a longer video. Will there be more? I don't think that there will be, honestly. This will probably be the last episode of Dear Nero, unless somehow there is like a wild amount of support here. Like I said, I feel as though the series has kind of run its course. Chances are this video is going to have like 1/4, 1/5, 1/6 the amount of views that most of my other content actually gets, and that's because just the series ran its course. People don't want to see a Q&A here on the channel. They want to see other stuff, and I'm okay with that. If people want to see other stuff as an entertainer, I'm kind of bound to make other stuff, I suppose. So if this video gets a ton of views and a ton of likes and tons of positive feedback, then maybe we'll do more Dear Neros. Maybe it won't be weekly. Maybe it'll be like once a month. Maybe it'll be once every couple of weeks. Maybe it'll be once every blue moon. Or maybe there'll be no other episodes ever again. You know, I don't know. Maybe the series has just been done. As I say, 215 episodes, over 4 years worth of posting. You know, I mean, maybe the series is done. We're going to have to see. But ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what happens in the future, I want to thank you guys all so much for your support of this series, my previous series, any video I've ever freaking posted, because, you know, I've been reflecting a lot over the past week. I mean, my channel has turned just 3 days ago 6 years old. Dear Nero just yesterday turned 5 years old. Like, I've been reflecting a lot, man. Like, I've been doing this. Like, the majority of my adult life has been spent making content here on YouTube. So thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this amazing journey. You know, sometimes you have to close the book closes on a series like Dear Nero, but that's okay because a new series is going to start, new videos are going to come out, and we can always look back at this series with fond memories. And it's not as if the episodes are going anywhere. There's an entire playlist, and most of you guys notice the playlist itself has 100,000 views. there's an entire playlist of all 215 episodes, which you can find here on the channel, and you can watch them at any given time. And it's a special series to me. It really is. Like, you know, my first face reveal was on Dear Nero. You know, I did a setup video on Dear Nero. Back when events would happen, like when we first learned about Advanced Warfare, we started learning about Black Ops 2. Like, you can go back, and it's like the entire history of NerosCinema is almost linked to Dear Nero in a way. You can go back and just see like initial reactions as things were happening and world events. Like, I don't know, any big major news event and stuff like that would sometimes be covered in Dear Nero. And it's fun to go back and look at some of these old episodes, see how I've grown as a person over the years. I think the best part too is it's so easy to just be a genuine person and tell the truth. Like, you can go back. My opinions have never changed over the years, because I forget the exact quote. Maybe it's Mark Twain, but as long as you tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. And that's basically it. Like, I can go back and watch old episodes of Dear Nero, and my opinions on things were the same back in 2012 as they are now in 2017. And it's, you know, it's still fun to watch me grow as a person, evolve as a YouTuber and as a content creator, and just lots of nostalgia, man. Lots of nostalgia with this series, and just thinking about my channel over the past couple of days. And I'm excited for the future, and hopefully you guys are as well. Hopefully you guys will be along for the ride. So thank you all so much for watching episode 215 of Dear Nero. Will there be more? Probably not, but you never know what the future may hold. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.